Hi, and welcome to Duct Tape and Happy Thoughts. Duct Tape and Happy Thoughts is a podcast that deals with everyday topics from relationships to parenting to work environments to bullies to peer pressure, and the list goes on. My name's Cyster, and with me I have the amazing Natasha Lion and Dakota Lion.
How's it?
Welcome, ladies. Welcome to the podcast. Another episode. I've got a topic this week. Okay, cool. Just went to a family braai, and we got some single guys that is back.
Oh yes,
back.
Yeah,
So they were in a relationship.
They were in a relationship and didn't work out.
Oh, they're back.
So they're
is
back.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. So we're talking about relationships.
Okay,
cool. So who's chasing who these days?
Okay, as in like interest, like dating.
Yes, sort of dating. Sort of how does one do it? How does one go about it in this sort of modern era? I know. I mean, with our previous podcast, Dakota, you touched on sort of the lingo that
the teenagers
are using. I think you said something along the lines of vibing, or that went.
I didn't
right
think you
over
would
my
remember
head.
that.
It's like a totally different language, like they're in another country.
That's correct. Yeah. So just elaborate on that vibing or.
I didn't know that you remember like everything that I say.
It's hard. Not
I didn't
to
know. Has
when
it been
comes to
sticking
teenage.
with you since I told you about it?
Everything,
He's
but only vibing. Vibing only stuck. Everything else it just went.
Wait, Dakota, he's taking notes for Ben.
Oh my goodness.
There's
There's probably going to be 10 more when Ben gets to my age. So, but what do you want to know, Ryan?
Just sort of what's the lingo and what's the process? Because I'm comparing sort of when I was dating, and that was a good few years back. Sort of, what do you call it when it's official? What's the whole honeymoon period? Because I mean, back in the day, it's sort of you like someone and you go, cool. Hi, Janet. My name's Cyster. Do you mind if we hang out or?
And Janet was like, no.
Like, no.
I'm joking. I'm sure Janet said yes.
It's after sort of a long period. She's like, cool. She can get past my one leg and and crooked eye, and she's fine with that, and she'll love me regardless. But like sometimes it's
hope.
Yeah, you hope. Yeah, I was like, she never dated a pirate. But anyway, So Janet goes, cool. We'll start the relationship, and then we'll just move on there. We'll become boyfriend and girlfriend, and then we start dating. And then you bring her home to the parents, and there you go. What's the modern thing these days? Does the youth still do that? Is it? Take me through the process.
Yes,
we did touch on this a little bit last week,
a little bit,
and there's not much more to it. So basically, let me break it down for you.
Yeah,
because you have the talking stage. So talking is when you guys, and vibing is kind of the same thing. I hope I'm explaining this right, because I didn't even follow it properly.
Well, I'm listening again because I still, even though after all these years, I still don't completely understand it.
So talking is when you'd like this person, you're speaking for a bit, you're getting to know one another.
Yeah.
And then vibing, I think, is when you let everyone else know. Like,
okay.
I'm vibing with this person, we're still getting to know each other, but we do feel this way for each other. And then the next step is just getting together, which is dating. And that's when you've decided to make it official. So boyfriend and girlfriend.
Okay, so when you're vibing, you've already told each other like,
how you
I like
feel.
you.
Yes.
To what extent? Like, I like you, or
You just establish that there are feelings there. And you can't be vibing with someone, obviously, if they don't feel the same way.
okay, so it's just the talking phase. Isn't that like courting?
No, but
Without the meal?
I mean, talking phase. I mean, they should be talking. Oh, that's like a primary thing to do,
Yes. We talk a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then in sort of like the modern vibe. So who pursues who? Who's chasing who? Does the female approach the guy? Does the guy approach the
It doesn't matter. It can be either one.
Go for it, Tash.
Can I answer this one?
Yes, students, you can ask the question.
Sorry, as a parent, I've noticed there's like a huge shift. The girls do a lot of the pursuing now. I mean, I was like, oh, what? No, I remember, because we've had this conversation before.
Oh yeah, she was very surprised.
But I wasn't surprised. I was shocked. I was like, you don't do that.
But you know, I mean, that would have been so much easier for me if I had to be born sort of like the modern day. No, you know what I'm saying? Because back in the day, you were so nervous approaching a female that now, if the roles were reversed these days, it'll be cool. You know, I mean, if it, you know, to be able to go, no.
But I think like things have changed so much, but the women back then, we didn't even for 1 minute think about what the guys went through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Unless we like really were in touch and we had parents or whatever that like taught us to be really sensitive to all of that. Or if you grew up with a brother or something like that, or you and your dad really spoke.
Yes.
Okay. Other than that, we just thought, okay, that's their makeup. That's what they do.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a lot. I mean, whether it's sort of old school back in the day or even now, it takes a lot for a guy to, you know, pluck up the courage to approach a woman to let her know that you're interested. You know, and the rejection, if he's rejected, it's you know, it's a bit of a punch below the belt, you know?
It's so different now though, because guys will just reply to a girl's story and that's them shooting their shot. Like you don't get no, but it's the truth. You don't get guys anymore that will come up to a girl and ask for their number. Maybe they'll ask for their Instagram and then that'll be it, and then you'll talk through social media.
Okay, sorry, I've got to ask about the lingo. It's the first time. What is shooting the shot?
Shooting your shot is like seeing if you have a chance with that person. So if I go to you, say for example, a guy comes up to you and he's asking for your number, that's him shooting his shot. And if you shoot him down, that means that you were like, no, I'm not going to give you my number.
Wow.
It's
I didn't know that was a new lingo. I thought
it sounds like there's more admin. Do you do admin?
Then it's shooting the shot, and you have to check on all these platforms.
All the stories, the reels.
Did he reply to me on Facebook?
Or TikTok?
No. Or TikTok?
Or
no.
Instagram?
Or Insta? Oh, and WhatsApp as well. It's like cool. Is he interested? You know?
Do
you check all those social media platforms to see if he replied?
No, social media has ruined everything. It really has.
Okay.
I agree.
Because I feel guys aren't, and I'm not like insulting anyone, but guys aren't as like confident in that way. Like I think it's really cool if a guy comes up to you and asks for your number, and now they just find you on Instagram and then they DM you.
Well, sorry, I've got to add my piece to that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to bring it up. I mean, for me, it was seriously refreshing when Dakota's boyfriend actually asked if he could see me.
Yeah.
Well, I gave him a lift to school the one day. His mom was away. And he actually asked me.
Yeah.
He said, I really like Dakota, and can I please ask her out? Can I go out with her? And I was like, what?
She was acting very weird that day too, and she was a bit weird.
No, but that's classic. I mean that's sort of your classic gentleman approach.
You don't get that anymore.
You know, you don't get that sort of just respect. Because I mean, I've noticed whereby the younger generation, I mean, they date for a long time, only for you to only find out months later that they're actually seeing someone. You know.
That's true. Yeah, Dakota, that used to happen a lot with your friends. And when did that start? I mean, maybe you should even.
But that's where the talking stage comes in, because people, I found that in our generation they really don't like commitment, and that's what the talking stage is ruined, because you're talking to this person for so long, and they actually call it a situationship. So you're in a situationship with this person, and you're talking to them for so long, but they actually haven't asked you to be more because they're scared of that commitment, but they don't want to lose you, so they're just keeping you in that loop, but it's actually not going anywhere because the other person's too scared.
Okay, cool.
That's actually a good thing, right?
Yeah, because you kind of sort of have your.
It gives you an opportunity to like really get to know somebody before you're actually putting like a label on it and making it official. Because when you do that, that's when all the pressure comes. Come on, let's be honest. Everybody watches you once you get into a commitment.
Yeah, and I mean, is it like sort of serious relationships that youngsters are having these days? Because I mean, if I think back when I was at school, I mean.
Do we want to go there, Cyster?
You know, I'm not going to mention any names, but I mean, it wasn't much about girlfriend or boyfriend. I mean, you like sort of like, you know, interacted with one or two, you know, because I mean, I think for us, we were more sort of concerned about looking at our profession, you know.
Really?
I don't believe it.
Cyster?
I think you were trying to hide the fact that you had more than one girlfriend. You wanted.
I will never do such a thing.
You didn't
never.
want everyone else to know that Betty and Francesca were also your lady.
Listen, Cyster, if you're trying to convince us that you were studying every
Of
single weekend.
course, I was studying
Work
every
towards
single
that
weekend,
degree.
doing homework, focusing.
He was
Not
dedicating.
on Betty.
He was dedicating a weekend to each.
Look,
girl.
yeah,
Each
yeah,
girl.
you know, those days you needed to obviously have like a physical calendar. Where
Did you have a chart?
a chart like Betty on this weekend and then this one and that one? No, but I mean, it wasn't that serious.
It's very complicated.
Yeah,
now.
I
But
mean-
at what age? What age are you referring to? Because just remember, there's primary school and there's high school. So
Yeah,
you're talking more about high school now.
yeah, high school. I mean, look, I mean, I didn't even
think about it.
think about anything on primary school. I think I was, I was too much of a kid. I mean,
But that's what we thought too.
yeah. But I
Yeah.
mean, are kids looking at like primary school dating as well?
Yes,
Oh my hat.
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Oh my.
I remember.
hat.
Yeah. I mean, would you like to tell
My
Cyster?
first boyfriend was like grade 6,
And-
but it was nothing serious. Trust me, Mom would take us to the movies, and she'd be sitting in the back row.
And a lot of mums did that.
That's hectic.
Yeah.
Hectic.
I've
So
got a picture of her on a first date.
That will be deleted after this.
I don't know. That 21st is going to be so special.
oh my goodness. Yeah. So I mean, if we sort of just dive more into sort of dating, I mean, obviously, as you mentioned, you go on the social platforms, you look at your Facebook, Instagram. That's how you connect, or things like that. Is it more sort of leaning towards the online phase where people hook up, or is it still the whole conventional? Let's meet at a party, and John kind of looks at me and gives me the wink, and then we make the connection. Or is it more online savvy?
I
these
think it
days?
varies because you get that group of people that are very, and especially introverts. Like
Yeah.
introverts love the social media aspect of dating, I feel, because like I said to you about replying to an Instagram story, then connecting, and then it's just talking, and like they don't meet until a long period of time. And then you get the extroverts that do the whole, we met through a friend group and now we together. So
Yeah.
it varies from person to person. I personally do not enjoy the social media aspect of dating. It doesn't feel real to me.
It feels really impersonal, doesn't it?
Yes.
Like, especially with the online dating itself.
Yeah.
I mean, at my age. So it is a lot more difficult for adults my age to be out there online dating. And there's a lot of risks. You have the scammers, okay, and then you have people that aren't telling the truth and are falsifying information. And then if you do meet somebody, it's scary because it's like, what's appropriate, what isn't appropriate. And I mean, I've heard some like really interesting stories. Like, I've done online dating, okay.
Yeah.
It's not something that I'm comfortable with, I must be honest, because I'm pretty old school. But you know, when you have a guy saying to me, listen, I just want this to get this out there up front, I will not be sending you data or paying for an Uber. I'm like, okay, what are we talking about? No, I drive my own car. I will meet you there. Thank you. And no, I have a cell phone contract.
Oh my
So
goodness.
so you never know what you're actually meeting because they build up this profile.
Yeah.
And until you actually meet that person, it's touch and go.
Yeah, but I mean, don't you feel that? I mean, especially for an older person, it's really, really difficult
It's
to
extremely
get out there
difficult.
old school. I mean, going
Very.
to
There's no more
restaurants
places.
and going out for dinner with friends,
Yeah.
and maybe a good friend hooks you up with a guy or a girl or whatever. I mean, it's very rare because we live very, very busy lives, you know.
Well, you know, the whole thing where people say, oh, it's best to rather meet somebody through a friend. Even that has become very saturated because you still don't know 100% what, I don't want to say what you're getting. It sounds so bad. But you still have to do your due diligence. It sounds
Yes.
terrible, but you've
Yeah.
got to take the time, get to know the person, and you got to learn the red flags. And
Yeah.
if you're quite like innocent to it all and you're going in there with an open heart, you could find yourself in trouble. You know what I mean? So you've got to kind of have your wits about you and be realistic.
Yeah, and then I mean, then the modern matured woman, is she sort of the one that's taking the lead these days? Is she
think
pursuing
so.
men?
I think there's a lot of that. And
Okay.
and the thing, I think also we've got to remember we're in a society now where instant gratification is so big. So people are seeing it as a way of, it's fun, it's socializing.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think different views, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, something that always sort of intrigued me was, I mean, these days we have very independent women. Woohoo!
Yes.
And that's fantastic. I mean, women doing it for themselves, being career driven, mothers.
Yeah.
I mean, they doing the whole thing. And I mean, back in the day, saying old school, you'd have a housewife that will stay
Yes.
at home, look after the kids, and dad goes and earns the bacon and brings the bacon home, and
Yes.
mom makes it. So very much old school, very much independent. Now the roles are reversed. My thing is, why is it fine for a man to sort of promote that? My wife's a stay-at-home mom. I'm proud of her. She does a hell of a lot of work, and it's cool. But if the roles are reversed with the independent woman and the guy stays at home these days, he's considered like a loser and doesn't have a job.
I don't know. I think it depends who's
You're speaking to.
who you're
Okay,
speaking to,
okay.
because I still feel there's a bit of a stigma attached to women staying at home, and there's not enough respect for those women that actually stay at home, because that is a full-time freaking job. I mean,
Yes.
I'm a independent woman. I have my own career, my own business, and coming home and having to deal with all of that as well, it's no easy task, and
Yeah.
that's why I bring in help on a regular basis, like every second week or whatever. So being a housewife, I give great respect to the stay-at-home moms, because they're the ones that are like, they're nurturing the families and the future generations. And I give great respect to a couple where the woman is the ambitious driver and is out there earning the bacon, and she just doesn't have the whole housekeeping flair, or she's got to stay away from the laundry because it turns pink when she, that kind of thing. And there's the nurturing husband and
Yeah.
dad, and he's just, he's the fun dad, and he gets the kids to eat their vegetables,
Yeah.
How cool is that? And that very dynamic can work. I think it's a matter of how you perceive it, and you've got to take note of how society has changed and how careers have changed. Women have become more independent, so the family dynamic has to change.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can't still be old school and start doing this women's lib or the whole chauvinistic approach. It just will fall flat, in my opinion.
Yeah. So I mean, on that point, although we're sort of looking at sort of both ends of the scale,
Yes.
but do women still want that sort of old school
Yes.
feel to something? Although she's independent and stuff.
Okay.
and whatever.
I can't speak for all women, but I can speak for myself. Okay, so I promise you, there's this misconception out there.
Yeah.
I'm a very strong, driven woman. I mean, I'm very comfortable in business and boardrooms and all that, and doing what I need to do. And I obviously don't need somebody to take care of me. I take care of myself.
Yeah.
And sometimes that can be misunderstood or misread. So men, and I'm speaking for a lot of women in my position,
Yeah.
a lot of men will steer away from that because it's like, okay, well, she's going to really give a hard time because, she's probably got a rule book and she knows how she wants things done. She doesn't want a man taking care of her and all of that, which is actually for a lot of us not true. Being strong women, we still come home and we're like, we've got feelings. We care. We also
We
want
want
our feet
cuddles.
we want cuddles. So I still believe in the old school values but the problem is it's the way it's been put out there and driven home. Okay, when they talk about the man is the head of the home, what happens? We've got women up in uproar, and I reckon this all comes to Rockefeller days when he started the education system and there was a tax incentive for families for the woman to go work, but we won't go into that right now.
Go back in history.
No, yeah, we will. I'll have all these conspiracy theorists, contacting us. But for me, a man being head of the home, it's not he's in charge. It's he gives direction. There's still compromise. There's still discussions that are made, and you're in a partnership, and you do it together. And when the one is weaker, then the other one is stronger. So you carry each other.
Okay.
And it's not about competing or who's more important or who's stronger or who's the head of the home. It's a relationship and partnership. It's not anything to do with ultra feminism or women's lib.
Yeah.
I want to be taken care of. I want to be the girl.
You know, one thing. One thing's always fascinating for me is that, you know, when you're dating.
Sorry, Ron, I wanted to add to that. Sorry, I'm stopping there.
Go for it.
Women want to feel protected. I don't care what any woman says. At the end of the day, women want to still feel protected and safe.
Still want to have that knight in shining armor
Captain
protecting
America.
it.
No, on the side, we want to go, I'm saying it's like this. But have their man protect them.
Okay.
Anyway,
cool.
sorry about
So I mean, even though he's standing there being a stay-at-home dad,
Yes.
he has a shield of nappies.
Is
he still a fine knight for you?
And he's a ninja.
He's a ninja.
Oh my goodness.
Do you know, like another point that I also feel that is sort of extremely funny is that when people are dating, they can make the decision for themselves, right? They do their own thing. They sort of independent. You know, they don't have to ask anybody. But the minute they enter into relationship,
Oh, gosh.
they have to ask this permission. Like, can I go out with the girls or can I go out with the guys? But before the relationship, you could go, sweetie pie, I'm going out with the guys. We're going to go watch football. See you later. You know, and then you go out to the spa days. Like, honey, I'm going to go out with the girls. See you later. And it was fine. But now it's like,
not official.
No,
I don't know what's up
I
with
think
that.
Ryan's saying you can correct me if I'm wrong,
Yeah,
but in
go
a
for it.
marriage, it's like you feel
no.
like you need a
Is it just marriage?
I don't know what you mean official. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. Right.
vibing or whatever. I mean, I would say in inverted commas, when it's official, whether it's being a relationship
Yes.
or marriage or
Engaged.
or engaged, whatever. Before, for example, if you guys were dating or vibing and talking for 5 years, it was fine. But the minute you guys get married, it's like, cool, man, I need to check with the wife.
May I please go out with my
May
friends?
I please go out with my friends? It's like,
So it shouldn't be a permission thing, but I would think of it more of a consideration thing, saying, listen,
Just
sweetheart,
checking in.
I'm just checking in, and do we have plans this week? Because if we don't, the guys have actually invited me out, or the girls invited me out. Do are you okay? Are you gonna have something to do then? Or do you want me to get movies for you and popcorn?
Is it okay?
yeah.
Will you be okay?
Will you be okay, honey? I'm gonna be gone for about
But okay, so now you're bringing me to something else.
Yeah.
Okay. Why have we gotten there? Because we should be okay on our own, right?
Yes.
I mean, I've been like single for many long periods, and I'm like, I do my own thing, and I'm happy.
She does.
I really.
She really does. It's not a bad thing though.
No,
I feel
it's
you
not.
need to be secure in yourself.
No, exactly. So when those moments arise, you go, sure, hun, what are you guys going to do? It sounds like fun. Instead of applying the guilt, obviously within reason. If we're talking about some like really hectic parties,
or like a weekend away.
Wait,
Then
if you're married and it's like, weekend away, all the women, all the men, I don't know. That's a grey area.
Yeah.
So each to their own. But the permission thing
It's a bit
kind of
weird.
hectic.
Yeah, and I think also we get caught up in a sense whereby the plans start getting far and in between when you with someone, because when you were single or when you were dating, you would go a lot out with the girls or guys and whatever, and you had your own time to be your own person outside of your relationship. But the minute you start going hectic, then that sort of whittles away. And I mean, most couples that I know stop doing those things, and then they want to be in each other's faces
Yes.
24/7, and then they want to strangle each other and want to know like why, you know?
I think it's different for everybody because I think the relationships evolve. I mean, I remember when I met my late husband. I mean, he was a huge Liverpool fan. I mean, he was a huge Liverpool fan right up to his dying day.
Yeah.
But I remember meeting him, and he was a complete diehard, and he wouldn't miss a game with his friends, and he'd go out and meet up with them, and it was a big thing. And if they lost, they would sulk forever, you know, that type of thing. But as our relationship went on, and as we got married and everything, that started changing because of the family dynamic.
Yeah.
And he would prefer to watch the game at home.
Yeah.
You know, with the kids, and maybe have a few friends over. So I think it's just the dynamic of the relationship, how that evolves.
Mm-hmm.
But look, I just feel you shouldn't try and change somebody when you meet them, because you've met them like that. Why do you want to change them?
Correct. I mean, as you rightfully said, is that it's sort of going out with the guys gets pulled into staying at home.
Yes.
He's still gonna have his guys around and having the kids around, and everybody can bring their kids as well. So that's perfect. You know, just adjusting it to
But even better, wouldn't it be even better if the partner just out of his own decides, I don't want to go out with my mates all the time for the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'd rather be at home with my partner.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I mean, isn't that better than going? Listen, you are not going out drinking with the boys, because I know what happens, and then you have shots, and then you don't come home until the next day.
Oh my goodness.
So it just it just flows better, and then you all want the same thing at the end of the. Well, I think.
Yes.
I'm I can't generalize because everybody's different.
Yeah, and I think it's once again also coming back to finding that balance, you know, for having your responsibility and you know, and then just knowing, you know, what to do when you need to do it, and just being respectful. So
Yes.
yeah. So I think, so who's chasing who these days, ladies? Is it men or women or equal?
I don't know. It's a difficult one, eh?
Very
Yeah.
I
difficult.
think the old school, our generation, we still are very old school, and we're like, it would be, all Dakota knows, it would be incredibly hard for me to go and approach someone, because my father brought me up that way. He indoctrinated in my head. He was like, you don't speak to they chase you.
I'm gonna take it as it was a rhetorical question.
Okay.
No, I don't know. I don't know if you want an answer to that question. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, I think each to its own, you know. And then I think whatever you feel comfortable with, you do you.
And I think it's changed so much, especially with obviously everything being so gender based, and it's different. So that's a whole new spectrum. And
A whole other topic for another day.
Another day. Well, thank you, ladies. Thank you so much
Thank you,
for
Cyster.
discussing this
Cyster,
topic.
It was such a good
Cool.
one. And don't even forget to do your Easter egg hunting.
Join us again next week on Duct Tape for another episode, another topic. Cheers for now.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.